Hi Connley Clan fam! Today we have what I think is a super fun video for you guys. We are going to talk to the kids about their name changes. We're going to find out who changed their name, who didn't, why they changed their name, why they picked the name they picked, and some of the stories are pretty interesting. So stick around and I'm going to go find the kids. Okay, this little guy right here, when we got him, when we got you were 2 months old. We had to wait for a bunch of paperwork to be done before we could go pick him up because he was born in Iowa, not Nebraska. But birth mom left the hospital and never named him, which I didn't know that this could happen, but they put on his birth certificate, baby boy. So baby is first name, boy was his middle name, and then his birth mom's last name, which they did have. So for the first year of his life, he was baby boy. And we had to have that on his medical card. We had to have that on all of his paperwork, and everything we did, that was his name. But we knew that we were going to call him Christian David Connley, and so that is what we called him. And then when we had the adoption, that is what we named him, didn't we? You're Christian David Connley? Yeah. Which is a little fitting because we did not do this on purpose, but he was born during the pandemic. Yes. Were you born during COVID? Yeah. And his initials are CDC, which is funny, isn't it? You're a goofball. Okay, Alayna, we are talking about names. Do you remember what your name was before you were adopted?
Yeah.
What was it?
Serena Marie.
Serena Marie. And Dad and I loved your name, and we really wanted to keep your name. But what did you say?
I said, no, I want to change it.
You said, no way. Everybody else, you said everybody else is getting to pick, and I really want to change my name.
I don't know why I changed it.
You even cried to me one day because you said that you really wanted to change it that much. So we ended up writing down, Dad and I wrote down a bunch of names that him and I both liked together.
Yeah, and one of those names was Adeline, but I said, I don't want that to be my first name, and then I'm like, what if it's my middle name? You're like, let me see how that sounds. Alayna, Adeline, Connley. Okay.
Yes. So on that list was both Alayna and Adeline. Yep. So we decided that, well, you picked Alayna for your first name, and then we had you look at that list too, and you picked Adeline for your middle name. So we all decided together what your name was going to be, didn't we?
Alayna, Adeline, Connley.
Alayna, Adeline, Connley. Yep.
I start the alphabet AAC.
You're right. AAC. That's funny. A double A.
Yeah.
We've got 3 girls with us here. Charlie, Jade, Isabella. Okay, we're going to start with Charlie. Charlie.
Yeah.
Did we change your name when you were adopted? Yes.
I have to go in the doctor.
The doctor? When you were adopted, do you remember what your name was? Before we adopted you? Was it Dawna Leanne? It was Dawna Leanne. And then Dad and Mom changed your name because when you were first born and we brought you home from the hospital, we picked out a name for you. And so we had kept that name and we decided to call you. Do you know what your name is? What's your first name? Scarlett. Your name is Scarlett, but we call you Charlie for a nickname because Dad always wanted to have a little girl named like Charlie or Frankie. So we called you Charlie.
Yeah.
But your name is Scarlett Ava. Yeah, so we did change your name.
Daddy's outside.
Yeah, he's outside. Okay, next we're going to talk to Jade. Come here, Jade. Did we change your name when you were adopted?
No.
We did not.
Well, except my last name.
You're right. We did change your last name because all of us are Connleys, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all Connleys. But you, when you came to our house, you were Jade Olivia.
Mhm.
And we kept your name Jade Olivia because Dad and I really love that name.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we kept that. Jade Olivia Connley.
Yeah.
Yep. So you have kind of a fun story with your name. So what was your name before you were adopted? Do you remember?
Nisa and Denisa.
It was Denisa, and we called you Nisa for a nickname. And so it was Denisa Ann. And did we change your name?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did we ask you if you wanted to change your name? Did we ask you? And what did you say?
Yeah.
You said, yes, I do. And what did you say you wanted your name to be when I asked you?
Isabella Sophia Connley.
You told me that you wanted your name to be Bella.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
You said, I want my name to be Bella. And I said, what if we call you Isabella instead? And you said, yeah, I love that name. And so we called you Isabella Sophia Connley.
And for a nickname, Bella.
And for a nickname, what do we call you now? Because we did call you Bella at first, but what are you calling yourself now? What's your nickname?
Izzy.
You have been calling yourself Izzy. Yeah.
So is Alayna.
John, we're talking about names. Did you change your name when you were adopted?
Yes, I
You
did.
did. What was your name before you were adopted? Don't tell me your last name, though. Just your first and middle name.
Okay, John.
You don't remember?
Is it John Schmidt?
No, it was John Carlos.
Oh, I thought that was my dad's. I thought that was my dad's name.
Your name was John Carlos.
Oh.
And so we asked you if you wanted to change your name, and you said?
I want to have John. I still want to have John in my name.
Yeah. So we called you because you said you wanted John to be your nickname.
Yeah.
And you wanted to be called Jonathan.
Yes.
Do you remember that? So we called you Jonathan so you could have John as a nickname, and we changed your middle name to
Paul.
Paul. And whose middle name is Paul?
Sean.
Yeah, Dad's middle name is Paul. So we've got Sean Paul
And John Paul.
and
that
John
rhymes.
Paul.
That rhymes.
But sometimes when I yell for you in the house, I say John, and you and Dad both think I'm calling you, and so then I have to say Jonathan.
Yes.
It makes it a little easier.
Me just yelling, Jonathan!
Yeah, sometimes you do that.
Yeah.
So you are now Jonathan Paul Connley, so we did change your name, kind of. Okay, I've got two girls with me now. Lily Lou.
Hi.
And Rosie too. And Rosie too. Okay, let's start with you, Lil. We're talking about names. Did you change your name when you were adopted?
No.
You did not. Well, we did change your last name, but your first and middle name did not change. So, what's your first name?
Lily.
And what's your middle name?
Anne.
Anne. Yeah, Lily Ann. Funny story. We already have a Lily, don't we? One of our older daughters' names is Lily, but she spells it different. And her middle name is what? Do you know? It's not Anne, but it's Annabelle. So we have a Lily Annabelle Connley And we have a Lily Ann Connley. And we loved your name. So your foster mom that you had before us, you were with her for 3 months. So from the time you were born until you were 3 months old, you lived with her. And she got to help name you. And so we kept your name Lily Ann. So now you're Lily Ann Connley. Right? Yeah. Okay, and we're going to look over here at Rosie next. So, Rosie. Okay. So, did we change your... we changed your last name.
Yeah.
Right? So you're a Connley. Did we change your first or middle name?
You changed my middle name.
Your middle name. So, everybody got to pick what they wanted, right?
Yes.
And you chose to keep your middle name, you chose to keep your first name the same.
Yes.
Yeah. So, everybody calls you Rosie, but what's your real first name?
Rosaline.
Rosaline. And what is your middle name now?
Lauren.
So, you're Rosaline Lauren Connley. Do you remember what it used to be?
Yes.
What?
Rosaline Joe.
Rosaline Joe. Yep. So we gave you the middle name Lauren, and so Dad and I really like the name Lauren. We have that on our list. But Dad's niece, she has the middle name Lauren, and we thought that it was really pretty, and so we put that on our list. So you are now Rosaline Lauren Connley, and you got to pick that you wanted to keep your first name.
Yes.
Yeah, you're one of the few kids that kept your first name.
I'm the only kid that
Completely kept it.
What?
Okay, Gavin, today we are talking about names.
Okay.
And did you change your name after adoption?
No.
No. You have a really cool story. Your birth mom called us. Well, actually, she texted me and asked if we would keep you with Jade and Lily. Because they're your half-siblings, aren't they? Yes. So you guys all have the same mom.
Yeah.
So she asked if we would take you, and we said yes. And what did she let us name you?
Gavin.
She let us name you, and we picked the name Gavin Michael, and then she even gave you our last name on your birth certificate. So that means that you have always been Gavin Michael Connley, haven't you? Yes, from the day you were born, you were Gavin Michael Connley. Now, Dad and I picked out the name Gavin. We were going to call you Christian, weren't we? You were going to be a Christian. But we decided on Gavin instead. And then do you know where Michael comes from?
Yeah.
Where?
Christian.
Michael that is your Uncle David's middle name. So Uncle David's middle name is Michael.
And Declan Connley.
Declan, that's not his middle name though. Your name and Uncle David's middle name are both Michael, and that's where we got your middle name from. We are talking about names. Now, did you change your name when you were adopted?
Yep.
Yes, you did. So, funny story, because when we were thinking about names, I thought that you were going to keep your first name and change your middle name. But what did you decide?
To change my boss.
To change your first name and keep your middle name.
Yeah.
Yep. So, what was your name before? Don't give me your last name, but what was your first and middle name?
Andrea.
Andrea Tiffany.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so tell everybody why you kept your middle name instead of your first.
Because I wanted something to remember my birth mom.
Yep.
Because even though she's a bad mom, me and her we were pretty close.
Yeah.
Maybe not like we were pretty close. Like tons of people, they would say like, oh, you're similar, and like we would do some fun stuff. So I wanted to do something.
You wanted to keep that name to remember her.
Yeah.
Yep. So Tiffany was her original birth name.
Yeah, but was my birth mom's original
Yes.
name.
And then your grandparents changed her first name, but they gave Tiffany as her middle name. So her middle name is Tiffany.
Yeah.
So now you kept your middle name as Tiffany.
Yeah.
Yes. And so it was Andrea Tiffany. Mm-hmm. Yep. So it's spelled like Andrea. Mm-hmm. Yep. And then you decided, we got on a name website, and we looked at Spanish names, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yep. And we listed a bunch of names that we both liked, and we found the name Emma, and we both liked the name Emma, and so we chose that for your first name.
And the reason why I wanted a Spanish name is to remember my dad.
Yes. Yep, because that's right. Your dad is from Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, so now you are Emma Tiffany Connley.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So now I have three things for each parent.
Yes.
My dad.
Yep.
Emma.
Yep.
My birth mom, Tiffany.
Yep.
And Connley for your guys' last name.
Right. So you have all three of us.
Mm-hmm.
One last thought on the name changes. You know, I feel like it's really important for everybody to have their own input. You know, for example, with Alayna, Sean and I really wanted to keep her name the same, but, you know, she was adamant that she wanted to change it. And what I found out is that sometimes kids just need a fresh start, and having a new name does that. It helps them have the fresh start that they need going forward after adoption. So I really feel like it's super important for, you know, the child and the parents to have input in that decision. Thanks for watching our video today, guys, though. If you have not yet subscribed to our channel, click here to subscribe to our channel. And if you haven't watched our Finally Summer video, click here to watch that video next. Bye!